I think it says we're live, Janek. Did we get this figured out?
Yeah, that's what it said.
All right.
So,
well, now we got a few viewers jumping on.
welcome to Adder Train Fridays.
Train Tuesday rescheduled to Friday. Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll roll with it.
So, hi everyone. Hope everybody's doing well, hanging in there. Beautiful day here in Central Illinois. How's it out there in Southern California, Janek?
71 and foggy.
All right. Yeah, June gloom getting ready to roll in, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good deal. Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a couple of things we wanted to talk about with you all today, share with you before we get into the Q&A section that seems to be the biggest hit of our live feature, which we're happy to do. So I guess let's just jump right on into it, and let's talk about the new announcements that went live at midnight. I think a lot of you guys have found most of them. So let's just sort of jump on into it. So here we have the monthly order packet that most of the dealers have or will be getting, and that gets sent out in our email blasts and then put up on the website. I know that they're still doing some back-end stuff on the website, so
they're still working on it. It'll be there sometime this weekend.
Right. The PDF sheets haven't been loaded, but I think I saw, Janek, you got back to a couple of comments saying you had heard about Sunday or something like that. So
yeah, sometime by Sunday they said. So I know that you guys can't see this right now, but they're working on it. It'll be up this weekend. So
all right, good deal. So again, the packet went live to start placing pre-orders today, and the pre-orders are due on June 26th. I know we've had a couple of questions about the products and when the pre-orders are due for this packet. Is due June 26th right here, and we will go ahead and put up a little note for anybody that happens to join us a little later. But let's just sort of jump right into it. And GP15s.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like 3 years since we did GP15s, I want to say.
Yeah. Geez, I can remember. It has been a couple of years, at least 4, I want to say, hasn't it, Janek? So about time.
Yeah.
Couple of updates on these. We will be updating these to have the cube speaker assembly in them. So these will have the very well received high quality sound in them, as well as LED lighting.
Yeah, LEDs.
Right. So let's just sort of dive on in here. We first started with UP, and what have we got special about these guys? It looks like the first one here is a yard unit with the beacons on the roof.
Yeah, I mixed it up with these UP ones. I did 2 of them with the red sill and 2 of them with the yellow, because it seems like no matter which one we pick, people always want the other one. So by doing 2 of each, now everyone can be happy. But the red sill ones lasted a long time too before they got yellow. And as you can see, as on the 551 there, it's got the baby wings. So a lot of these have the baby wings on the nose, as well as the RCL strobes on the 574 there, which is a cool feature.
Now, is that those louvers on where the dynamic hatch would go? Is that something we've had in the line for quite some time? I guess it is, isn't it?
It's a C&NW modification that they punch those louvers in the long hood there.
And it looks like they had the extra louvers above the blower housing.
Yeah, so the 574 is an X Mopac, I think, and then the 551 is an X C&W.
Yeah, 574 is X Mopac.
We did 2 of each, so just to give some variety.
Cool.
So
And
yeah, these are cool.
like 551 has the red frame stripe, and 547 has a red frame stripe as well. So
yeah, and then the other 2 have the yellow frame. So
now I guess these are yard power now, aren't they?
pretty much that's where you'll see them. Although I was out riding my bike the other day along the 605 freeway, and I saw one of these on a local. So they do get out in local service as well.
Okay, so they do see a little bit of mainline action, not much though.
Yeah, they see a bit. So
okay, what else do we have here on the G15s? Frisco.
Yeah, Frisco. We've done Frisco before, but it's been a while. They had 25 of them, so that's a fair number. So these are all new road numbers that we got with the gyro light on the nose, and they got the beacon. So these are pretty much as delivered. And they were like this for about 4 years until they got to BN. Then they got a BN road number with the little BN patch, but a lot of them stayed in the orange and white. So
okay, it was always an attractive paint scheme to me, that orange and white paint scheme. Hard to keep clean though.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I said, different road numbers. So if you have one from the first run, these are new numbers that we haven't offered before. So
good deal. Ooh, look at that, some prime for grime.
yeah, I think this is the first time for BNSF. And as you can see, we got both the BN patch versions, and we also got the one unit that made it into orange and green, the 1478. That was the only one.
Really? So
Yeah.
that would have been, so that's obviously in the Heritage 1 paint scheme.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I guess that would have been repainted, what, in the 90s, I guess?
Late 90s, I want to say. Yeah. So we got 2 of the green units, and then we have the being that these are BNSF served. Like for example, I know that the gyro, but the others actually have.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I've lost you or if I'm having network issues, Janek. How's your network connection?
The headlight moved down in reason. Are we back?
I don't know. I'm having trouble hearing you, Janek. I'm not sure if it's your connection or mine. Now you seem to be moving pretty smooth. Try now, Janek.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
That's pretty decent, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Crappy Los Angeles internet.
Everybody's using it.
Yeah, sorry guys. I got a real janky connection. So
okay, so let's try that again because I didn't hear much of it. So let's talk about the BNSF Heritage ones.
yeah, these units, they're all different. Like I was saying, they got some of them got the headlights moved down into the nose, and then the 1481 has it up in the cab still. So
okay, and so looks like the 1481 still or has the patch out from the Frisco nose light, huh?
yeah, just played it over gyro light there on the nose. So And then
Okay, good
prime
deal.
for grime on the prime for grime on the green units, so they'll have that faded black. They'll have patches for the road number. You can see a little bit of faded paint there on the side of the hood as well. So
Yeah, I like that. That turned out really nice.
yeah, should be cool.
Some of the stuff that the art team out there can put on that stuff is incredible. We got some really good guys doing that for us. So
yeah, absolutely. So
all right, what else do we have below the BNSF here? GMTX. I think you had a hand in selecting those.
I actually worked on most of these. Again, we've done GMTX before. These are 3 new numbers that we've never done before. They're all ex-Conrail. Various kinds of horns and plows, details that were changed over time on these things. But being that they're leasers, they could show up pretty much anywhere. I've seen them on UP, I've seen them on BNSF, and I've seen them leased to like grain elevators and other big industries and stuff too. So
right. Well, and that's the cool thing about these is, you know, it's as a leased locomotive, like you said, they could end up absolutely anywhere, from mainline class 1 railroads to all the short lines that are scattered throughout the country. So I mean, it's a pretty wide range of ability for a locomotive. I mean, even for you guys that run proto freelance roads or layouts or something like that, this is perfect.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So quite a range of options for these. Looks like 2010s plus, something like that.
Yeah, most of these got into service in the mid 2010s is when they got out there. So
cool. Ah, there they are. There's some Northwestern for you.
yeah. Yeah, this is the first time that we've we've done the Operation Lifesaver, I believe, as well as the version with the big road numbers, which was I believe it was a 1990s, when they went back to the original yellow after they had the safety yellow for a while. This was the final scheme. So
okay. Yeah, I like that OLS paint scheme that we've got on there. So did we only do 4405 in the OLS, or no?
4405 and 4410.
Okay, good deal.
OLS.
So there's 2 OLS road numbers, and then 4409 is in the paint scheme that you see here. Of course, traditional Northwestern nose-mounted bell, and that is the sound that will be on the Tsunami 2 decoder. There won't be any substitutions, no wrong bell, quote unquote. It will be defaulted to have the gong bell.
Very distinct sound, yeah.
Yep.
And of course, the switch broom, the all-important switch broom, is included with these for cleaning off your HO scale switches. So
nice.
But I wouldn't actually test it out on your switches, but just pretend.
All right, Ventura County Railroad. So talk to us about this. This sounds like it's something up from your neck of the woods anyway, Janek.
Well, almost. Actually, the Ventura County Railroad mostly runs in Oxnard, down at the ports there. And for the last few years, it's been a Genesee, Wyoming operation. This is the only GP15 they have. It's a former CNW because you see the gong bell there on the nose, and they painted it up in the corporate orange and yellow. And I saw this out running just a few weeks ago, so that was pretty cool.
Okay, so since this has the gong bell, that's what the default sound will be for it too, won't it?
Yep. Yep.
Good.
And then we got to thinking, if we're doing Genesee, Wyoming, orange and yellow, well, there's a bunch of other orange and yellow GP15s as well. So
Aha.
we said, hey, you know, let's do some of the other railroads there. So there's the California Northern, both the original and the modern iteration are available, 3 road numbers each. So
Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to point out to make sure that there are 3 road numbers for each paint scheme. So the original green and white, and then the Genesee and Wyoming repaint. So there's 3 road numbers apiece there.
Yep.
So all of these are X C&W units, aren't they?
Yep. All of them XC&W.
Okay,
So,
good deal. What else we have here? San Joaquin Valley. Didn't I just see a comment?
yeah, someone was asking, Steve Salvador was asking for the San Joaquin. So there you go, Steve. Wish granted.
Yep.
That's my favorite one, because not only have I seen that one a few times, but that's just a cool railroad. So they got a lot of weird stuff.
Right, and some unique features here. So this is a former Conrail unit. So there's no gong bell on it. And then the RV style air conditioner we got mounted on the roof here.
Mounted sideways and off center, because why not?
Right?
Who cares about aesthetics?
As long as it keeps them cool.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a neat one too.
All right, so that sort of wraps up what we've got in the monthly announcements for GP15s. Is there anything else in the announcement pack you want to talk about, Janek, or should we just let everything dwell? Do we need to let? Let's
just move on. There's not much else, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think the next locomotive announcement has any following. You know, I don't know.
I guess we can briefly.
Oh, hey, look! What are those?
First time in Genesis, HOAMD 103 P42.
Yes. So the long anticipated, much requested, rather demanded P42s are making their triumphant return. And we have moved them into Genesis. And this is a Genesis locomotive for everybody that has been wanting one.
This has been an often requested model for a long time. You know, people liked ours, but they weren't too happy with it. They thought it could be better. Some of the other offerings out there weren't quite up to modern standards. So now there's finally going to be a highly detailed P42 / AND 103 / Genesis, whatever you call it.
Right. So let's talk about some of the feature upgrades on this before we get into the paint schemes that we've done. So I know that one of the largest comments that we had was about the tractive effort and pulling power of the model. And so one of the major changes that we wanted to do was to update the underframe. And so it's a whole new underframe, whole new chassis, all new underbody details, all new chassis details, period, underneath the shell to get the model that we're sort of looking for. So let's pull up this right here, and we'll go over some of the new parts and the new features. So we have the 3D rendering here that I can move and turn and rotate and show you guys. And we'll show, so this, what I've highlighted in green right here, this is the zinc alloy chassis now. If any of you Amtrak guys have used or handled our SDP40F model, this chassis is just about as heavy, if not the same weight. So the tractive effort should be just the same as the SDP40F. You should be able to pull your superliners and your AM fleets just fine if the trucks have not been tuned up yet, but I know a lot of you Amtrak guys are all over that. But also, these will pull the Comet and Horizon cars quite well from our friends north of the border.
Mm-hmm.
So this should be a very nice performing locomotive. Then, of course, Genesis driveline in it. So we have the Genesis motor. And we have a dual 28 millimeter speaker assemblies on this.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of history on this was, I know that we had been hoping to do most all of our new locomotives to have the dual cube speakers. This underframe and chassis was designed about 5 years ago. And this was before we had found a suitable cube speaker. So this one didn't meet that criteria, unfortunately. Just we were ahead of the curve. So this one still has the 28 millimeter oval speakers in it. But that's what's in the SDP40F. And I know that we have gotten quite a few good comments about the sound quality in that model as well. So
those things sound great, and they're really loud, which is great for big rooms like down at La Mesa. So
right. So while we have the shell off here, let's look cab interior. I know that a lot of people were looking for cab interior details.
nice.
So we have your engineer and conductor's console here, and then we have the rear bulkhead wall, and then of course the crew chairs, and then here's your LED PCBs. So everything is LED on the model now, and it's done with the LED PCB and light pipes, so nobody has to update the lighting on these anymore. Everything should be good. It should be good to go. So let's pop the shell back on. There we go. And let's cover some of the external details now. So let's start with the pilot details, because this was one of the areas that we had gotten requests for updates on. So we have the dual train lines and the MU hoses, the 480 volt HEP connectors, and then our cut bar.
That's everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything. And then we updated the plow. So the plow has the grab irons molded on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the same at the back of the locomotive. Hopefully I'm not making anybody sick by doing this.
That's nice.
But yeah, so here's your dual train lines again, and your MU, and the pilot grabs right here. As long as your 480 volt HEP connections, and then the MU catch trays are molded on with the pilot detail.
Now, does the 40 volt get divided by 87 for HO scale?
You know, I didn't put electrical contact in those little MUs. I dropped a ball on that one. I'm sorry.
How can I light my passenger cars now?
Ooh.
I'll just have to track power.
I think our friends at Soundtracks, George, he'll be able to hook you up with some lighting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
What else? Oh, one of the big things with the underframe updates was the body shell no longer is held on by these clips that snap and break the body mounting tabs. So we have revised the mold to look like the actual prototype.
Oh, that's a big improvement, because those ladders would break off. I'm sorry?
The crew step is actually molded into the shell now, and not just an open tab.
That's great. Those ladders would break off all the time. So
Yep.
So that won't be an issue anymore unless you drop it from 10 feet off the layout. So.
Right. And then underbody detail. We have created new air tanks for these, so the air tanks are much more accurate, much crisper. And then we have the air filters on the engineer side here with the piping. And then on the conductor side, let's unhighlight the body here. On the conductor side, we have the air dryer with the screen, which will be an etched metal part the safety screen around it to deflect debris and everything when they're in transit. So
That's so cool. That's my favorite part.
yeah,
That
and
looks
so
we good.
do have both versions. We have the angled version, then we will have the rounded version as well for the early units.
Nice.
So the lighting, so the lighting, as we mentioned, is LED. Of course, alternating ditch lights, the headlights, and then the marker lights are lit, and they will be lit in the opposite direction of travel whenever you turn on the function. So if you are operating a push-pull operation, like on the Northeast Corridor or something like that, you can light the marker lights prototypically, and then the rear marker lights are lit up as well. So you can select those. Now, I have seen a couple of comments asking about some of the other lighting features on it. I want to point out, like I said, this was developed 5 years ago. And so this was sort of before we had really taken a direction with the Genesis 2.0 level of detail. And quite frankly, we weren't sure if this was even going to make the cut to Genesis, but it did due to some of the other features, which we'll get into here in a minute. But having said that, this is not Genesis 2.0, so there are no ground effect lights and no stepwell lights, and the number board does not have lights behind it either. So we hear you guys. We wish that we could have gotten it in there. It just 5 years ago, we weren't thinking along those lines. So
well, and it's not Genesis 2.0 prices either. You know, this is, I think, $300 for the sound version, right? So it's not the more expensive Genesis 2.0 price. So
right.
For what you're paying, you're still getting a really nice model.
Right, because what was the SRP on these? With sound is $289.98. So on the Amtrak units. So
yeah, so that's a lot lower than the 2.0 units we've been announcing lately.
Right, right. So again, this is just regular Genesis. So yeah, some of the sound features, I've seen a couple of questions about that. The sound is Tsunami 2. It is full feature Tsunami 2. So it has the GE whooping compressor. It has HEP mode for the GEs. It'll have the correct horn. It'll have the correct GE passenger 7 FDL. And I do know that whenever Soundtrack's made a trip to Southern California to record the 12-cylinder 710 out of the F59 PHIs, they were able to get some recordings from some P42s there at Redondo. Mm-hmm. And I do know that the recording guy from Soundtracks, because I wasn't there, but somebody else had been saying that he just got all excited all of a sudden, and we were asking what it was, and there was a couple of sounds that he was looking for that he got out of the P42, and I know that one of them is the new dynamic brake sound. So the dynamic brakes that will be coming on the Tsunami 2 is correct for the P42 locomotive.
Oh, that's going to be great to get that. Yeah.
And then Kyle, I see Kyle Nemhard is asking if the DCC ready versions are 21 pin, and yes, they are. So if we take the shell off here, just show you that real quick. There's your 21 pin motherboard right there, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
So that about wraps it up for the updates to the P42. If we see any more questions, we'll try to address them. But let's get back and sort of talk about the road names, road numbers. What am I talking about? It's Amtrak. Some of the road number selections, and go from there. So
before we go too far into that, I know some people are asking, well, why didn't you do 156, or why didn't you do phase 4, or why didn't you do all the other versions? I wanted to kind of address that a little bit. We can't do it all at once because then we'll have nothing to do for the next run, and then the run after that. We pay for the tooling on these things over several runs, which means that we got to have good stuff for run number 2 and run number 3. But also, you know, dealers and customers, they're not made of money. They can't afford to buy every single version that we could do on the first announcement. So that's why we spread it out over several announcements. So yes, I know that some of the guys out there want versions other than what we have here. They're coming. Don't worry.
Right.
Don't worry.
And that goes with any of our new product announcements. I know that there was quite a bit of raised eyebrows, shall we say, for the SD60Ms and why we didn't do Sioux-Line first.
Yeah.
We know that Sioux-Line has high demand, and we were hoping to put them in the second production run to make a good second production run. So in the second production run of SD60Ms with the Triclops, look for Sioux-Line. So it's just some decisions like that. And like you said, Janek, I mean, I work for Athearn, and I'm not made of money to be able to buy everything either. So.
All right. So let's get back into what we are doing in this first announcement here. As you guys can see up there at the top, we're offering both the 66 and the 130. Now you might say, well, wait a minute, they're paying the same. Well, so there's a story behind that. Unfortunately, the 66 was the original Phase 2 Heritage unit. It was involved in a grade crossing accident in 2016, I want to say. They hit a large truck on the grade crossing and actually ended up bending the frame on it. So 66 has been retired subsequently. The 130 was painted up, I think, 2018, and it's the current Phase 2 Heritage unit. So that's why we're offering both versions.
And the paint scheme between the two is slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah, if you look on the side of the nose there towards the front, you'll see that the stripe outline is a little bit different. It's
look
got
at that.
a different curve on it, and also the antenna configuration is different between the two of them.
Right. Oh, that's right. The 3D that I had pulled up a minute ago didn't have it, but if you notice, number 66 has the Illinois service antennas on it, which we will be able to replicate.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 130 doesn't have the Illinois service antennas on it.
Right. So a couple differences between these things.
Right. Cool. And then another run of number 184, which is the Phase 4 unit, isn't it?
Yep. I know we saw that one in Fullerton one night a while back.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that one gets around, it seems, for sure. And then, of course, we got the Phase 5 after that.
Right.
And we're doing 4 different road numbers on that one. And actually, for the 3 that are listed on this page, those are the rebuilt nose.
Okay. Yeah.
The bolt-on nose.
The bolt-on nose here.
Yeah. But actually, go ahead. Sorry.
184 has that bolt-on nose too. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
But actually, the I forget what number it is, but on the next page, for you early mid 2000s guys, the 114, that's in the as built nose configuration. So.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I know there's a lot of guys out there, you know, that aren't necessarily modeling May in 2020. So we got different time periods. Right.
Yeah, because I know that some of the guys out there are doing different time frame Coast Starlight and Southwest Chief consists, and it's pretty neat to see the differences in them.
Oh yeah, I mean, even over a couple years, they could change completely. So.
All right. I have seen a couple of people commenting on it because we are working on P42 and the web page sort of has led on to it. Let's talk VIA for a quick minute.
Okay. Well, and you skipped over the as delivered scheme, but that's fine. I mean, pretty much we know what that is.
Oh,
the red, white, blue.
Which one?
The phase 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So those are as delivered 1996, I believe, for the P42s. So just 4 units there,
Right.
And all new numbers. So
good deal.
But yeah, it's the VIA, the one that everyone's asking about.
So VIA, we are in hopes of producing VIA. You see, we have 3 road names, and we have done the correct VIA nose with the spotlight in the middle. The high
Right.
beam is what I sort of call it. And then you can sort of see the 3D render of it right here. But we are still trying to get the license agreement finalized. And whenever we do have a final license agreement in place with VIA, we will feel confident to let everyone know about this. And then we will be able to proceed like normal with this. We're fairly confident in it for now, but there is a slight chance that we may have to pull it. I don't foresee that happening, but we should be okay to go. So we're hoping to get VIA done. Yes.
I love the dual horns on the VIA. That's a really cool feature. And we're going to have the sound encoder set up so that you could blow the normal horn or the emergency horn with F2 and F3 on your controller. So that'll be a neat feature.
That's right. I had forgotten that we had done that with the Tsunami too. Be able to toggle between the emergency horn as well. Cool. What else? So we sort of talked about the locomotives in this packet for the month of June. And it is about 340. So why don't we go ahead and save the rest of the packet for next week. I'm sorry.
Well, it will be next month at that point.
Okay, good.
You're not wrong.
So why don't we save the rest of the packet for next week and give some material to discuss then. But we wanted to definitely show you guys the new P42s and the announcement for today. And so now I think, if it's all right with you, Janek, I think we're going to do a little bit of virtual rail fanning and take the Q&A section. How's that?
What do you think I've been doing all day?
Oh, I see how you work.
I've been watching the Kansas City camera, and there was some cool stuff going by. So.
All right. Well, we're here at the Loop out in the Tehachapies, and it looks like a nice day, but no trains. So we'll sort of leave this up and start doing a little bit of Q&A. So let's get rid of that. And then let's do this. Hey, I got it right. So, all right, guys, we'll open it up for your questions here. So let's just get started here. Oh, geez, I had one. I just lost it.
Yeah, they're coming in quick.
Yes, they are. So, Luke, so that is the way that our website is set up for new items and such like that. It defaults to say out of stock, but it is a new monthly announcement. So you can make a pre-order with your dealer, or I think that's available through the website as well. Let me check real quick. Yes, so you can click on the back order now, and then it'll go like normal. So it defaults to say out of stock because they truly are not in stock in our warehouse and ready to ship, but they are available for pre-order. Let's see. Any chance of doing the Heart of Texas, Central Texas, and Colorado River Jeep 38-2s and the Soul Jeep 15-1 in the Texas flag scheme? Have some pics. Okay, Bradley, why don't you send us your photos? Send an email to help@athern.com, and then they will forward that on to us, and we'll be in contact to get some pictures from you. How's that sound? Jeff, Athern running any cars to go with the F59 PHs. So are you talking about our F59 PHI, or are you talking about Rapido's F59 PH? The answer to both questions is yes, technically. So yes.
Yeah, and we'll cover those in more detail next week. They're also part of this announcement. So
I forgot to go back to the trains. Let's see. Tim Hannum, GG1 and Jenny A's. What's Jenny A's? Noah CSX McCall. Chessie System CSXT patch Jeep 40-2s. Weekly reminder. Got it.
I'd like to.
Chris Schmidt. Do you guys play the lottery to help with tooling costs? Every day. Although it's not the tooling cost I'm playing for, but hey, that's me. Amtrak Veterans Unit going to be produced, Andrew. We don't have plans for it on this production run. Like we sort of mentioned earlier, we try to spread out some of the special paint schemes just to keep the announcements and the product flow going for subsequent runs. So I would look for it on a subsequent run. There are a couple of things that we have to change on it, on the paint scheme to update it and such, and to be able to produce a second run of it. But I would remain hopeful on that one. GG1 and Genesis. Oh, that's what you meant.
Oh,
okay.
Now I understand.
We'll put it on the list. We'll see what happens. Don't hold your breath. Or should you? We'll get back to you. Let's see. Mitchell Peters, make a beach towel. With Athern on it, or just any old beach towel?
Would that one have working standards?
Yeah. Aaron Michael Hine. See-through grills on the P42s. No, the rear grills on the P42 are not see-through. We had quite a bit of debate about this, and we decided not to because the new chassis is so large that you would just see the chassis immediately behind it. It would just be black. Of course, the weathering guys could, of course, put a little bit of depth in there, but it would not have been see-through anyway. So we decided to not alter that section of the tooling just to not risk damaging the tooling. Because remember, the body tooling is rather old, and so we're trying to keep finessing it as long as we can. And it just wasn't a decision we were comfortable with doing at this time. Christopher Acuna, you know Amtrak California Surfliner cars would go great behind the new P42s. Yes, we do.
Yeah, they would. I think
Alexander
that's
Pierce.
the top request that we've been getting lately. So like I keep saying, we take the requests seriously. So
yes, we do.
Do with that information as you may.
Alexander Pierce, all I want in life are CNEI FP7s, SW1001s, and Amtrak California and Surfliner cars. Okay, maybe, and okay. Maybe. Maybe? Okay, I don't know. All right, the CNEI FP7s, that's interesting. I like that suggestion.
Yeah.
What paint scheme would you be in for? Because we did the orange and blue not too long ago, didn't we, Janek?
Oh, and it was being considered. I don't know if it made it. I don't think it made it to the announcement. So I think next time we do FP7s, we should do the orange and blue ones.
Okay. Well, add it to the list. All Ohio Rail Fan on YouTube would like to see the early production CSX ES44s from the 7 to 839 series. YN3 and YN3 repaint. Nobody's made these in plastic. We hear you on that. There is not a good ES44AH AC in plastic. As I've said in the last couple of streams, quite a bit of GE stuff on the horizon. We're happy with the progress that we're making on the GE stuff, and so we'll just have to keep your eyes on the announcements.
Yeah. We got some people asking about road names for the GP15s. I think after this is over, you can go back and we talked about that in the beginning, about the road names. They're also up on the website. There's just no pictures yet. So.
Right.
But, you know, real quick, we did California Northern, Frisco, CNW, UP, SJVR, Ventura County, GMTX.
Right. So here's the Jeep15s real quick again. San Joaquin Valley, California Northern, Ventura County Railway, the Northwestern, GMTX, BNSF, and a BNSF Prime for Grime. That's a good looking unit.
Yep.
And then Frisco and UP, two versions of UP, modern RCL with yellow frame stripe, and then what are the other ones? 2000s to 2014 with the red frame stripe. So there's your G15s.
There you go.
Where'd it go? There it is. What else we got here? What's the due date on these, Kyle? Nope, not there. Pre-orders due on 6/26/2020, and the delivery date we are hoping for May of 2021. That's what we're hoping for.
Yep.
Uh-oh, I almost don't want to click on this one, but I'm going to. You mean those? Maybe?
That's not Heritage. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, he did say Heritage, didn't he? Okay, well, nix that.
Yeah. If we can't do the red ones, we're not going to do it. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, fine. No, Garrett, this is, I guess this is a weekly reminder for the ASD 70 ACUs. We'll have to keep that in mind. I know that a lot of people have sort of put two and two together that the chassis could potentially work for the ACUs. Mm-hmm. We'll just have to keep your eye on the announcements, see what happens. Steve Smith Sr. Did we kill your wallet or did you kill your wallet? What'd you do?
I know a guy who sells burial plots. I mean,
let's see. Terry, are you expecting the same release on the VIA P42s as Amtrak? As long as everything goes smoothly with VIA, which, as I said earlier, we anticipate that it should, the VIA P42s will be on the same timeline as the Amtrak P42s.
That's the hope.
Ooh, TH&B, Jeep 7s and 9s. What paint scheme, Rob? Because there was a burgundy one and then there's a black one. Excuse me, wasn't there? I thought there was.
I think Greg Summers has been bugging me for those, so I got to talk to him about it.
Okay.
He's got photos.
Well, and I thought there were plans somewhere. I thought I saw plans out there in the Long Beach office. Of course, we're not working in the office right now, unfortunately. Right. But yeah,
I think I saw paint diagrams for those.
Yeah. So, Greg Summers, if you're watching or watch a recording of this, we'll probably be reaching out to you on those for potential future production.
And a bunch of other stuff.
Space calendar. Will you produce a Genesis AC 4400? Again, lots of GEs on the horizon. We're looking forward to doing what GEs we have in the plans, and AC 4400s might be one of them. Have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're doing new GEs right now, so we're working on them.
Right. Let's see. Jordan Smith. Hey, I know that guy. Always room for more Amtrak. We'll be buying P42s. Would be first in line for some Surfliner California cars. Geez, there's those Surfliner California cars again. Good Lord.
They only run in California. I don't see what the big deal is.
You know, I know enough to. What was it? It was the Louisville World's Greatest Hobby Show back in 2015, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting comments for Surfliner cars in Louisville, Kentucky.
And when I was in Train Fest last year, I got a bunch of requests for them too in Milwaukee. So
right.
I guess people like them.
SD60Ms in Prime for Grime. You can probably put a safe bet on Prime for Grime SD60Ms.
Yeah. Some of those UP units were pretty beat up towards the end there. I'd like to see us do those. So.
Yeah. Yeah, our team could have some fun with those, because how UP welded over the window and the door, that could be a pretty neat printing feature.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Andrew, Dash 9s. So you talking Roundhouse Dash 9s? You talking Genesis Dash 9s?
Yeah,
we lots of GEs coming. SF30C, nah. Oh, wait. Okay. Maybe. That's a GE, right, Matt?
That's
yes,
GE. I don't think they changed the frame on that versus the U-boats. I think it's the same.
Well, yeah, it's basically a U30C, but Santa Fe specified or something like that. So it would make sense to do if we were working on U30Cs, which we might be, we might not be. Who knows? Again, a lot of GEs on the horizon. So Perry Lambert, B23-7 would be awesome. Thanks for the compliments on the Genesis 2.0, but honestly, I think that would probably be a better suggestion for our friends up at Rapido. Their B36-7 is a very nice model, of which I think a couple of people noticed. I had a couple sitting on the bar over there a couple of weeks ago. I'll let Rapido know, and I think you should too.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, you see the one at 1:53 p.m. from Kobo HO? Can you please check via gray and artwork? Looks a bit dark.
Where did it go? 53. I'm not seeing it.
All right. Well.
Oh wait, here it is. Here it is. I got it.
So what I want to say about that, what you guys see here on the announcement page, yeah, we try to represent the colors accurately, but at the end of the day, that's just what it is, a representation. You're seeing it on your screen, which is calibrated differently for everybody. Depends on the lighting that you're looking at it in. So it is just a representation.
Correct. And like Janek said, we try to get the on-screen color to match the color chips. But remember, your monitors calibration, what type of monitor, LED, LCD, CRT, if anybody still has a CRT monitor, is going to show up colors different. I mean, I have two of the same Asus monitors right in front of me, and sometimes they even show different colors whenever they're right next to each other. But I will say for VIA, we're not experts on everything, but we do try to get everything accurate. And we do reach out to people who are very close to the prototypes. And in this instance, we have reached out to our friends at Rapido, and we are working with them on artwork and colors. And so we're doing our best to do the model justice and to do it correctly. So,
and I think they're going to provide us color chips if they haven't already. So
right. So I keep forgetting to go back to this. Oh, we got a bug on the camera though.
Oh, that's nice.
But anyway,
climb up there and get that off.
Let's see. Jordan Walani, SP Sugar Beet cars. Which version? You talking about the 1950s and older version? You talking about the rebuilt Ortner rapid discharge cars for Holly Sugar?
Oh, I still think we need to do those.
I think we do too.
Well, you know, they got one. They got one of the composite cars with the plywood sides sitting at San Luis Obispo, Matt. We could get up there and measure it. So.
Okay. Geez, I lost the comments. Those comments are coming in quick.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go down here. Uh-oh.
Well, it's kind of foggy in Tehachapi.
Yeah, really. Sudden fog moved in.
Well, that's happened to me before. It's kind of scary when you're driving.
Let's see. Donald M. Wells. Any updates to the Genesis intermodal equipment inquiries? There has been some movement on that. We have been working behind the scenes and checking with some of our manufacturing partners to see what we can come up with, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, we're cooking a couple things. We got a couple ideas for that. So
let's see. SP, really? Jack, SP, come on.
Try for grind.
More SD70 ACEs, please. Well, Richie, you're in luck. We are currently working on our next announcement of ACEs, and we hope to have some very well-received improvements onto those. So just keep your eyes on the announcements, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, I know people have been asking for more heritage units, and UP has repainted some of theirs, I think, so we could do those repainted versions.
That's true, because they're not putting the flags on them anymore.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit different in some minor ways. So
right. Let's see. So Ben Martin, we didn't really address as to why the project was paused for 5 years. It really just comes down to time and priority for new product development, which is me, basically. There had been a couple of internal changes here at Athearn that delayed it. And then, like we said, we were trying to really figure out where this upgrade fit in the line. And there was some decision needed to be made there. And then, you know, back and forth between the factory and my engineering staff for the updates and tooling modifications, so on and so forth. So just a couple of things that didn't put it at the top of the working pile, and it just sort of became victim of time. So Yeah, that's what happened. And then again, I mean, I hate to even put any type of blame on the COVID-19 situation, but I was supposed to have deco samples either at the end of May and beginning of June, but with our factory being shut down for an extra 4 weeks after Chinese New Year,
Yeah.
the deco samples didn't arrive in time. So we should be getting deco samples at the end of June now, I believe, or beginning of July, because we really, truly wanted to show this with deco samples because we wanted to have a scale here and show the weight of the locomotive. We wanted to show the new underbody piping in great detail, just to do the updates justice for you guys. But didn't happen. So again, just delays on our part, no other particular reason than that. Oh, geez, they keep coming in. Placer County rail videos, rapid discharge hoppers into sugar beet cars I'm interested in modeling. Well, that's good to hear, because again, we could do those Holly sugar cars, and we could do the extensions as an etching included in the box and let the modeler install them. That would probably be the best way to proceed with those.
Well, it's getting close to 2 o'clock, it looks like. So let's probably take 1 or 2 more and then we'll call it a day, I think.
Yep, I think that sounds good. We didn't get any trains, unfortunately. I guess something's going on the loop up there, but
yeah.
Oh well. So let's see here. Austin Jackox, center beams would be awesome. We think so too. Just got to see how some of the future R&D happens and go from there.
Yeah, if you own a lumber mill that's rail served, let us know so we can get out there and take a look at some of those.
Yes, please. That would be nice.
We'd love to.
And let's see. Don't forget to do Mexican railroads. Actually, there was, I thought I saw in the containers, was it last month, Janek, in the containers?
Yeah, we did Ferromex. It should be on the website.
Ferromex containers last month.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah,
right there. Ferromex, and then there's some FEC. I know I saw an FEC comment up in there. Cyrus was asking for FEC. But for the Mexican railroads, we've been looking at some of our future announcements for later in the year. So hopefully there'll be some Ferromex stuff on there. I know I saw Ferromex come up on the list a couple of times. So let's see. Let's do one more here. Roger, how about the new tank train tank car paint schemes? So are you talking about the prototype that we have? Because I know that there were some repainted up in Canada for CN that were in a new paint scheme, but that's not a car that we can produce. So yeah. At least not Genesis anyway, because it's not the same prototype that we have. So
if you mean the later version with the yellow stripes, yeah, I think we should do more of those. I think we did 1 run only. I could be wrong, 1 or 2 runs. So
right,
could be time for more sometime
soon. All right. Well, Janek, I don't think I have anything else. We got to sort of cap this at some time, guys, because we could stay here for hours doing the Q&A, which we would love to do, but then no new product development would get done. So
right.
I think we're going to sort of pull the pin on today, and we will see you next week. So thanks for the suggestions and the questions and comments, guys, and thanks for hanging out and looking over the new packet, at least the G15s and the P42s. we'll talk about some more stuff next week. All right.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good
Sounds
one.
good. Thanks a lot. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
All right.